And how is Italian?
Italian is actually
Buongiorno.
very beautiful. Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Hi, Haritdeep. Good morning. I'm well. How about you?
Okay, I'm fine too. Thank you very much. Because this is our first session, could you first of all introduce
Yes.
yourself?
My name is Anurag. I am from Nagpur, Maharashtra, and I am a graphic designer.
Okay.
And I fancy playing the piano, and I'm also learning to play tennis.
Okay. That's
And
great.
I love watching comedy, anything that is comedy, funny,
Okay.
humor.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very nice. Very good introduction. Uh, just a couple more things. Could you also tell me what feedback the other tutors have been giving you so far?
I mean, it was the feedback was a mixed bag actually. So Uh, some of them said that I should work on my intonation skills.
Mhm.
Some of them said that I should work on my eye contact more and maybe a little bit on grammar.
Okay. Okay, I will keep
I
that in mind.
struggle. Most errors that I make that I have realized is that I make errors in prepositions sometimes.
Okay.
In,
Hmm.
at, to, for.
Yeah.
These are,
Hmm.
I believe, these are very uh,
Tricky, we can say.
tricky. Yes, that's the word.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is certainly true.
You really have
Okay,
to
well,
be memorized where which preposition which preposition goes where in order to be
hmm,
accurate every time. And
yes, that
sometimes
is true.
you might make an error.
Okay, you're right. You're right. There are tons of them, and there are very little words. And of course, just
Right.
changing one preposition changes the meaning. So there are a lot many
So
rules behind it. It's very difficult.
I mean, you have to be like your English must be more of an idiomatic sense
Hmm.
uh, rather than like working on grammar. You should hear more of native speakers, how they speak, how they construct sentences, and that automatically, I believe, it gets into you into that zone of what intuitively feels right, which word goes with what word, the collocations. I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah. Exactly. It is no point memorizing all the rules. That doesn't make
yeah,
sense. Yeah, the more you listen, the more you just spend time with native speakers, be it through Netflix or actually living in America
right,
or anything. It just
right.
helps you that way. That is true. Okay, very good. Just a couple of things. Tell me about your job, graphic designing. What do you do? How is it like?
It's mostly a creative job. So I create visual stuff, logos, brand identity, posters,
Hmm.
social media marketing,
Okay.
packaging design, magazine
Hmm.
design, editing, typography,
Hmm.
all
Okay.
this kind of things uh, come under the uh, area of graphic design.
Come
So
under my expertise or
work,
control.
yeah, I work
Continue.
from home, so I'm a freelancer.
Okay. And how long have you been in this job?
It's been I think 4 years. I
Okay.
actually switched from my past job. I'm a chemical engineer, so I used to work uh, in factories, and then that wasn't quite working for me. So I uh, dabbled in something different and went through with graphic design.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my
Yeah,
story.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you were given the chance to change something in your life related to your career, what would that be?
So, like complete change of career, are you talking about?
Yeah, let's say you had sort of a time machine, you could go back and you just change stuff, change some decision that you took. Well,
Right, right.
what would that be?
I get you. I get you. Yeah, if I had that liberty right now, I uh, would have really mm, thought of studying design, like
Okay.
proper design on an university level uh, basis. Yeah, and
Okay.
so that I could have like learned more and uh, could have flourished more in this career. But
Okay.
it's I mean it's past. I mean you can't change your past. So it doesn't make sense to think of these things.
Okay. To think of these things, I will keep writing all this stuff on chat also, whatever I correct. So to think of these things is correct. We can also say when we talk about past, we can say do dwell on it. There's no point
Yeah,
dwelling on the past.
dwelling
Dwelling
on
on
it, right?
it. Okay. So do you think it is ever a good thing to feel the emotion that we call regret?
It is. I mean, it is. It allow. I mean, we should not always be in that emotional state of regret, but it really depends on your mistakes that you make. And if there are something really serious, if there are some really serious mistakes that you have made, some grave ones, then I think regretting them helps you to learn, and it uh, it makes you to not repeat those mistakes again. But if you are
Hmm.
making very like trivial mistakes and that doesn't even make are not very important, I guess regretting on those uh, is not a very healthy habit.
Hmm. Okay. You shouldn't regret that. We don't say regret on that, but you shouldn't regret that. There we don't need any preposition. So
Right.
regretting those
Regret
mistakes
that.
doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you really know people around you, or maybe do you have some story from your life where you used to regret a lot, or you should waste a lot of time regretting instead of just actually changing things?
Yeah, I still do. I mean, that's a negative quality about me.
Hmm.
I still do regret sometimes when I have uh, unintentionally or intentionally wasted a lot of time doing something that wasn't very productive.
Hmm.
I regret that, and I'm working on it. Be more disciplined, be more punctual.
Okay.
Yeah, especially
Okay.
with the advent of social media, YouTube, smartphones, it has become the next TV of this generation. So that
Hmm.
is consuming a lot of time.
Hmm. Okay. Well, you have given me a nice segue. Actually, our topic also is related to that. So the thing is that within these 5-7 minutes, I have understood one thing, that the way you frame your sentences, all of it really belongs to an advanced level. Even though there are some errors, most of it belongs to the advanced level, the sort of words to use and everything. But so far, one thing I haven't been able to see is if you are able to frame a longer answer, I would give you a point, I would give you a topic. Just I would give you 40-50 seconds to think about it, think of the points that you can cover, and then start. So this way, if possible, just try to go on for 3-4 minutes maybe. Before that, just a couple of things. Uh, First of all, this word, could you pronounce it? This one,
Yeah, yeah.
I wrote it on chat.
Homer. I have
Oh,
never heard this.
oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, this one, this one.
Humor.
Yeah, humor, humor. Now it is correct. Yes. You said I'm well. So first of all, we usually say I'm. The day is going well. That would work.
Hmm.
Everything's going well. But when we say it for ourselves, I'm well, that only refers to sickness, that you are not sick, you are not ill. So let's say you had
All
fever
right.
yesterday. If I ask you, how are you? You would say, I'm well. Okay, I'm well now. Uh, and
Right.
if
Right.
we want to talk about our state, just we say, I'm good, I'm fine.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good, I'm fine. Or we can say
Hmm.
the everything's going well. That would work because here we are
Everything's
using
going well.
going. Yes.
I'm all well.
I'm all well. Actually, this we do use. I haven't heard it that much, but in informal English we do use it, and this doesn't relate
But
to
I have
informal.
heard people saying this response, I'm well, just to say that they are fine, they are okay.
Hmm. I will perhaps check it later on. You can also check it, or maybe in the next session I would tell you. But I'm pretty sure I'm well is particularly for sickness. But maybe they're
Right,
saying
right.
saying it in that context, or it could be that they are incorrect. But still, to be sure, I
So,
will
what
definitely
I
check.
have, on the contrary, what I have read, or I think I have heard is that uh, saying I am well is the correct grammatical form as opposed to saying I am good. I am good doesn't fit, is not grammatically very correct. It's more of an idiomatic way of saying I am good.
Okay. Well, actually, I think you might have read this thing for I am doing good, because doing is a verb And with that, we are
Okay.
supposed to use an adverb. I'm doing well. But in
Okay.
informal English,
Okay.
people do
Yeah.
tend to
Yeah.
say I'm doing good. That could be there.
I'm doing well. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I
That
might
is
have
one of the things.
misconstrued it, I guess,
That
with
could be
those
possible.
sentences.
But on the other hand, just to be sure, I will also check it. And in the next session,
Sure.
we'll discuss it again. So
By
in
the
this
way,
case, yeah.
I need to ask you something. You used the word segue. Could you repeat that
So
sentence
yeah,
again?
actually, this isn't really a word we use that much, but it's just that in
No.
sitcoms you find it a lot.
I have
Segue.
heard it.
Okay, okay. Segue actually refers to the next point. So when we come from this point to the next one, particularly in films, we use that. In your graphic designing, also perhaps this would be a term you might use, that from one scene to another you segue. So that follow is segue.
Okay.
Here I simply used it in the point in the milieu of a conversation that we were at this point. You brought the word social media, and then the topic I wanted to start with was also social media. So you just gave me a segue here. That is what I was saying.
So like a transition or something.
In a way, it's transition, yes. But yeah, when you actually make a transition from one to the next thing, that is called segue.
And also you used the word milieu. What was that?
First of all, this is segue, and milieu
Right.
is actually,
I'll write
it
that down.
refers to, yeah, sure. It refers to the environment. So the thing is that, let's say, I could tell you that for learning a language, it is very important to create a milieu around you, or to be in that milieu where you can learn that language. Milieu is environment. Yeah.
Right.
In this
So
case,
what's the
you can use it
pronunciation?
as
Milia.
milieu. Oh, a simple
Milia.
yeah,
Milia.
exactly.
What was the
Milieu.
spelling? If you could repeat that, please,
M
again.
I L I
M
E U.
L I. Milia.
Yeah, milieu.
Okay.
Yeah. And
And
segue
segue.
CEGU.
SEGVAY. WAY, right?
Could you please
S
repeat that?
SEGWAY, right?
No, segue is SEGUE.
Huh?
UE.
Okay.
Yeah.
SEGUE.
Yeah,
Segue.
because these words are taken from different languages, the spelling is
France,
very
I
different
guess.
from. Milieu is French. Segue
Right.
also, yes, it exists in French, but it exists in Latin also, I guess. From there, it has been taken.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And
Well,
France,
that's
by the
really
way,
great.
sorry.
Great words
Sorry.
that you have. Uh,
Okay. Okay, it's maybe because I
said
have
because I believe you're
particular.
the first tutor that has uh, presented such beautiful words in all of
Okay.
my more than 100 sessions that I have done.
Okay,
That's
okay.
really good.
Yeah, mainly because I've read a lot of books, so it's very normal
Okay,
for me to keep coming across these words. That is there.
right.
Yeah,
And
that is.
you're using it in the conversation. That's a
Hmm.
very important thing. We
Yeah.
just learn words, keep on learning them, learning, but we are not making a practical use of it when there is
Hmm.
a right moment and right time to use it. If
That can be a
a
bit difficult,
sentence
yes.
calls for it.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, you're
what
right.
about you? Could you tell something about yourself? What is your
Uh,
background?
yeah, sure. So, well, you already know my name. I am Harit, and I live in Alwar in Rajasthan. It's a city in Rajasthan. And well, as far as my background is concerned, I actually started with commerce in my school, and even in my bachelor's, I chose a subject related to that. But I then just got bored of it. I'm not sure if I would say I got bored, but it's simply that I just didn't find it interesting anymore, and so I switched fields. I was always very much interested in languages and English particularly, and I thought, okay, language teaching is one thing that I could do, and I decided to join this.
So did you do a degree in linguistics or a
So
Bachelor of
I
Arts
didn't.
English or
No, actually, I didn't do any degree. I started. I did do one course for 3 4 months, a sort of diploma
all
in
right,
English, teaching English, not in English, but in teaching English. And
right.
well, besides that, I have been learning languages. I learned Italian. I learned French. I'm still learning it actually.
Oh wow, that's super.
So
That's
yeah,
très
my
bien.
okay. You also know a little bit of it, or you know a lot of
Yeah.
it.
No, just a tiny bit. I did a course on French. It was just like 2 3 months, and I just know the basic
Okay.
greetings and all, nothing much. But
Hmm.
I do have that desire to learn it in the future.
Okay, okay.
I
That
like
that was very
I
nice.
like the language, the pronunciation and
Hmm.
everything. So
Yeah,
I'm
that is
intrigued by
there,
the
the accent.
language.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually learning it.
It's difficult to
So
pronounce though. You have to roll your R's, like produce some kind of nasal sound with R.
yes,
It's not easy.
yeah, particularly the R sound is notoriously difficult in French.
Yeah.
Even I never am able to pronounce it. But yeah, we are always trying. Some of my some of my friends they do, and I'm like, how do you do that? But the other sounds I've used
Other
to.
sounds are easy. Je
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
bonjour, those are easy, but the R sounds I also find
The
it
R
difficult.
sound is not. Yeah, it is not
Yeah.
easy. I don't know how you're supposed to do it, but it's. I'm trying, but it's difficult. That is
Yeah.
there.
And how is Italian?
Italian is actually
Buongiorno.
very beautiful. Yeah, it's like that. So it's very beautiful, and I really love the language.
Grazie. Buongiorno.
Grazia, yeah.
And the way they uh, pronounce their pronunciation is also a bit
Yeah.
masculine, I would say, if that makes
I
any
never,
sense.
I don't know if I found it that way. It could be a personal opinion, but for me, it was, well, it is much more beautiful for me than French is. And there's just
Okay.
something about the accent. It's very beautiful. It's very musical, actually. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah. I would agree with that. It is
Hmm.
musical. And
Yeah.
most of the music originated in Italy.
That is also, right.
Because
The
I
Renaissance
am into
period.
classical, Western classical music.
Okay.
So I have heard many pieces that have many composers that uh,
Yeah.
are from Italy.
Yeah. Particularly, yeah, the Renaissance period, it was particularly Italy and then Germany. That these are the two countries
Okay,
where the composers come from.
right.
Yeah. As
And
far as
also
art is
France, I
concerned,
think.
was concerned, Italy and France were there. As far as music composition is concerned, it was mainly Italy and Germany. France could be there. I'm not sure, but I have mostly heard
Oh,
Italy and Germany.
right, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is okay.
So
Coming back to a couple of yeah.
how
Sorry,
were
tell me.
you so good in English? Like from the beginning,
Actually,
from your childhood, you started
it
reading and practicing English. How?
in reality, I was from an English medium school, but I wasn't really practicing English in that way. And secondly, as far as my journey is concerned in English, it's simply that I started reading books when I was in 10th. So it's been almost a decade since I did that, and for the past decade, I've been reading tons of books. That's one thing, and then
And if I may
again,
ask, sorry
yes,
to
tell me.
interrupt you. If I may ask, what kind of books
I started
are you
with
or were you into?
hmm, okay, I started with novels, simple novels, detective novels, thrillers, and so on. And then I also went into non-fiction. For instance, I am really interested by psychology. That really passionates me. And then there, then there's philosophy, spirituality, and so on. There are many such books that I've read. I kept coming across them, and I just kept reading them. So 10 years, it's been like that. And then I
So
started watching sitcoms also.
that shows the abundance of linguistic
The
proficiency
the
that you
lexic, the
display.
vocabulary that I use.
Right, everything. And how did you uh, bring it into practice? Reading is one thing, and to actually
Yeah. So
saying
the thing is that for me, it happened very naturally. It's just that I was never trying to learn English. It's just that I thought, okay, I have to read books, and because I was from an English medium school, it made more sense for me to read English. And it's just that my mind automatically started thinking in English. And when I started watching
right,
sitcoms, I watched tons and tons of them, hundreds and hundreds and hours of it.